Now, 6 minutes to 8. When you picture the standard English churchyard, you probably think of neatly mown grass in between symmetrical rows of gravestones. That's not the case at St Nicholas Church in Arne, near Wareham. The grass is unkempt. It's only mown once a year. There's a sheet of corrugated iron lying on the ground for slow worms to bask under. And there are bat boxes and bird boxes in the trees. You see, everything in the churchyard here is done with nature in mind. And it's an approach which is clearly working. A recent survey by the Dorset Wildlife Trust, identified 49 plant species, including 2 types of orchids in the churchyard. And last weekend, the church was awarded the Bishop's Prize by the Bishop of Salisbury for the work that they've done. So on Friday, the day before their annual mow, I went for a wander around the churchyard with a lady who's been involved in its transformation over the last 20 years.
This is the main body of grass, which looks very untidy at the moment, but come tomorrow it will be cut.
Well, I'm Marion Wood, and
tomorrow,
we're in the Church of St Nicholas at Arne, which is down on the peninsula, looks across to Poole Harbour. And I've been a member of this church for 25 years.
Can you tell me what the churchyard was like when you came to it 18 years ago?
Well, the main bulk of the grassland around it was cut short, very, very short. It was very tidy, but it did seem incongruous to me that it should be tidy when it's in the middle of the RSPB reserve here at Arne. And I just felt that we needed to be looking to encourage wildlife a bit more.
My husband Patrick here has fought a one-man battle against getting that back. And now we have foxgloves, bluebells, snowbells, wild
It's a pretty
daffodils.
little church. It's a neat church inside. What kind of reaction did you get when you start coming out with these eccentric ideas about letting the grass grow long?
Well, over the years, lots and lots of comments. Originally, quite a bit of resistance. But over the years, people have realised that the wider world is getting to accept that we do need to conserve and help our wildlife. But with it being cut so short, it had been neat, lovely for weddings, I believe. But now people, I think most people have accepted that it's right for here.
This corrugated iron is placed there for slow worms, snakes, and it can't be seen from the road, so it's not an eyesore.
What does it mean?
Gives them jolly good
How
place
do
to-
you make the churchyard here friendly for wildlife? What kind of things do you do?
As I said, we don't cut the grass. We leave the grass long. We have it cut once a year, and then a group of up to 6 of us will rake out all the thatch, so encourage the wildflowers to come through. We've also followed all the recommendations of the Dorset Wildlife Trust, and we've got bat boxes and bird boxes, and we've seen many generations of blue tips using the nesting boxes and the fledglings. We've got a piece of corrugated iron where slow worms and snakes, adders and so on can shelter, and when it's warm they can bask on that corrugated iron. We understand grey long-eared bats in our roof, and altogether in the summertime when you come down here it's just awash with butterflies, bees, dragonflies, damselflies.
We have a compost heap, but we have to take that away because wildflowers prefer a poor soil and not enriched.
How does it feel to see the difference that you've made over the best part of 2 decades?
It's very satisfying. I think that we are doing our part in a small way because our churchyard isn't large, as you can see. We have no gravestones outside, so we haven't had opposition regarding cutting around gravestones. And I think it's just right to be preserving God's creation in this place.
That's Marion Wood at St Nicholas Church in Arne, talking to me on Friday afternoon, ahead of their yearly mow. And it was actually such a lovely church that I went back on Saturday. Angie and I were in Wareham doing some wedding stuff. So I said, come and see this church, it's lovely. So we popped down there 2 consecutive days. If you'd like to see pictures of the church, pictures of the orchids that have grown in the churchyard and a picture of Marion as well. You can see those on our Facebook page, facebook.com/BBC Radio Solent. I think there's one up on our Twitter as well, at BBC Radio Solent on Twitter. We're right across social media.
Loving life in the South.